Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, January 3rd, 2022. Time is now 7:04. First item under discussion is going to be, we received a letter from Rebecca O'Melia on 69 Woodland Road. What, Steve?
Just so cable knows, you're not being broadcasted.
Oh. You're not being broadcasted?
You just had the Douglas cable. You guys aren't being shown.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. But it is live. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so that's discussion item number 1. That was in the mail for our information. Orders to be signed. So we have those listed. And we have all the folders. If we wanted to just do that after.
Yep.
Okay. Meeting minutes. Do we want to do that now or later? Now?
I've got another
Everybody
discussion.
should have all the
Okay.
documents in your package,
Yep.
along with the chart.
All right.
A few meetings ago, we discussed dates for this year.
Yes.
And one of them on the page I got said March 3rd. And I'm wondering if that's a typo, or are we meeting on March 3rd instead of March 7th?
Steve, do you remember for our meeting schedule for 2022, the March meeting?
There's two.
About it.
What was the date? There was 2 in March?
Right, March 3rd to March 21st.
Okay, well, the 3rd is a
Thursday.
Thursday. Is that what we're doing?
It is?
Ah,
Yeah,
that's what I
well-
thought. I think it might be supposed to be March 7th, Steve?
Yep.
And February 7th is correct.
Okay. Want
Okay.
to make that note?
Yes.
Thanks, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Make it March 7th. Okay. Want to get back to the minutes, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
if we're ready.
You know, in that vein, it says the next meeting's January 24th,
Right.
but on my calendar, I had a note it being like 2 weeks, 3 weeks from today.
That's the 24th.
But I had it, excuse me, I had a different date, I had an earlier.
Oh,
date.
yeah?
So, but this, I guess, is correct?
Yep.
24th?
Yeah, I went through them all, and that was just the March 3rd one was the only one I found wrong. On the minutes, I think our new recording secretary is doing a good job.
Okay, good.
And, there's a few issues I had with some of the timestamps being, 5 minutes off or, stuff like that, but nothing really serious. So Steve's got a page in here, which ones we need to work on.
Yeah, so
Lovely
May
spreadsheet.
17th. Yes, thank you for the spreadsheet, Steve.
May 17th, like I said, I just had a couple of 3 or 4 timestamp issues, but also the word staked.
I have comments to May 17th.
Yeah, it's not steak like you eat a steak.
So my comments for May 17th, and I sent these in an email to to you and Steve. May 17th, attendance is misspelled. Staked is spelled staked in multiple places. On item 6, the minutes mentioned that Art Allen had comments. In the meeting, Art Allen went over his comments and explained how they were addressed, and mentioned the potential existence of vernal pools on the property, though not required. Art also agreed with the chair that the notes on vernal pools would be included on the ANRAD. Those items I thought should have been in the minutes and were not covered. After that discussion was when Wayne Belleck spoke. After that, there was a discussion on the historic aspect of the site that was deemed not relevant and not part of Mass Historic Sites. The minutes say that Wayne had an update on the owner that was unknown, but then the update wasn't recorded as part of the minutes. So I think that we should have, when the minutes say there was an update period and then move on to another topic, the minutes should say what that update was.
So a little bit of more elaboration. Teensy
I would
bit more,
say-
because she's trying to be very concise, I think.
Absolutely.
Well, so my counterpoint would be, is if you want them more concise, then leave it out. Like, I don't mention
Leave
that
out the
there's an
update.
update, and then not say what it was. Either leave it out completely or mention it and then say what
And
the
I think
update
we gotta
was.
find a middle ground, because we had a lady doing it previously that was very wordy.
Yep,
And we did, say, hey, Steve, we need to be a little more concise here, but maybe we're going a little too far the other way.
Yeah, I think a friendly amendment to add a sentence on the update, just like you did, and then she'll kind of get the flavor of when she's adding in the stuff back in, oh, this is important, this is something.
Right. And correct the spelling issues, like I said,
yep.
there's a few throughout. I just gave an example, like I said, mistake, but
So then in my email, I try to give the content that I did want so that there wasn't a question of like what does and what do we not want. So that was on that was my comments to May 17th.
So if the board agrees, make the changes with your email
yeah.
that you have laid on your email, that would be acceptable.
Yeah, if you could get
Okay.
that to Stephanie, that'd be great.
Yeah, and then you can approve these based on that she's gonna make those changes.
Okay,
Yeah, I would move to approve the May 17th minutes as we're going to amend them.
Okay, motion's made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor? Roll call.
KG Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montminy, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Monjamai.
Okay, thank you.
24th?
No, that was
May
the
17th.
17th.
So then on May 24th, I made the comment that Gruyere and Hellman was the thing. Again, G&H has been called Gary and Hellman, Gruyere and Hellman, whatever it is, it should be corrected to the actual name
Yeah.
of whatever it is.
That's really,
And then it's missing 2 names under item 4.
Right.
Are those fixed?
Something with something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is Judy Russell. Are you missing something for our request?
we're going over the meeting minutes from last year to approve them right now.
Okay, sorry, I heard our engineering firm mentioned it. and I-
Are you from Lot 3 Ledgestone?
This is 94 Allen Road. Yeah, they'll open that hearing when the time comes.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. We did mention the name, but it was in reference to an agenda, meeting minutes.
I don't remember. Is it the next one?
Yeah, so Steve, I don't know if we can go back.
I have May 20.
Maybe it wasn't clear on the recording on the Lot 3 on Ledgestone Road,
Oh,
but
wow, this was interesting.
we got a couple of blanks that we need to fill in on the minutes.
That's really
Yeah, I can fill
strange.
those in. I think I could just go back and get the engineering firm's name.
Do we only open that once and then close it right away?
Other than that, it was just timestamp
What day are
stuff.
you on?
Did you have anything else on the
Yeah.
24th, Katie Briggs?
I did not have other specific comments to the 24th, but I think Tracy's finding a few items.
Oh, no, I was just, for the 4, I didn't know if we opened that and then closed it right away. Because it should have been, oh, yeah, we did.
We did. Okay.
Oh, it wasn't prepared.
But I did this review over a month ago, so I actually don't remember.
Okay, yeah, so Steve will have to, so I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, I move that we approve the May 24th minutes as amended by Steve to add the names of the engineering firm that's missing.
And the 2 names under item,
Yeah, that's what he's
That
gonna,
is- That's
yeah,
what I'm talking about.
yeah. Motion made by Art, second by Mike. All those in favor?
KG Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montminy, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Monjamai.
Okay, great. Next, October 4? Oh, wait, July 12th.
Which one are we doing? July 12th?
Yes,
Yeah,
sorry
I
about
was
that.
absent from that one, so I didn't take a look.
Okay, do we want to do the rest? Let me have a moment.
I did not look at what is it, July 12th?
July 12th.
I'm missing it. I have not looked at July 12th. I'm not going to say that it's missing. It's probably fully available
I
somewhere.
wasn't here, so
Okay,
All
all
right.
right,
I did do the October 4th one.
okay.
And I think there's a discussion on 225 U Street that's missing.
Okay.
And I think it was at 729, it goes from 727 to 732. And I didn't see 225 U Street in there at all, but I got it in my notes, so we must have discussed it. But somehow it was dropped off. Steve, could you maybe check with Stephanie about a discussion on October 4th about 225 U Street?
Okay?
It's been omitted from the minutes. Again, I appreciate being concise, but not to the point of leaving things off.
Will do.
It was something to do with changing a cape to a colonial, I think. There was a modification on the plan.
25U, oh yeah, 225U.
You have it?
No, but I remember 225U.
Yeah.
That was the amended plan.
Yeah, that's just what it was. That's what I had in my notes.
Yeah.
I have it on the May 24th meeting.
Yeah, I don't know how to miss that.
May
That- that
24th.
happened now.
It's in the May 24th meeting minutes.
Well, it came up again on October 4th.
Oh,
So I don't know if you want to, if I can make a motion, if we add that, I'm okay with that one.
Do you want to just hold until?
can hold that.
We get, yeah, that revised, and then we can, maybe we got a couple of them done, so
Yep. Keep-
let's just hold for
keep
there for
chipping
now.
away.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to old business. 7 PM, public hearing, continue notice of intent, Shore Road Lot 299, parcel 7.16, Cliff Van Reed. There's a request from Margaret Bacon for a continuance. No date. Steve, was there an indication on when they were going to be ready?
No, I think they're waiting to hear about, how the drainage is turning out.
Okay, do we want to push them to the February meeting, February 7th?
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll entertain a motion
So moved.
at 7 PM. Motion made by Katie Grace, second. Second. Eric, all those in favor?
KG Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmany, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
Okay, thank you. Next, request for certificate of compliance, 29 Laurel Glades, Kenneth J. Goulin, possible votes. What was this one, Steve?
But we just got, I don't know if Andrew's here, he sent an email on 5:30 tonight, right before the meeting regarding this project.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I'm not sure if any of the commission's members went out, I did send a updated video, I sent the link, I'm not sure if anyone's seen that, I can certainly play it now. But I think Andrews might have some updated comment regarding, this is the one that was a certificate of compliance and he added a patio where the shed was. And they
Yes,
have not, and I think they're still waiting to put the trees in.
yes. Okay, so did you come up with a mitigation plan of sorts for the pavers?
I was actually hoping that we could get on site and looked at where where you'd like to have the trees. So I'd ask the board, ask the commission if you have some specific locations where you want the trees. I have a couple of suggestions. I'd just kind of like to run it by the commission before we put it on the plan.
Oh, yeah. Locations of trees.
Okay, so is the goal on this to end up issuing the certificate of compliance? Is the board in agreement that there's some mitigation measures that can be done without new filing? With because it seems like
I'm
we can't really
uncomfortable
tell
with that.
them, yeah, so that's what I'm feeling, we can't really tell them how to design the mitigation, because they didn't exactly follow substantial compliance with the original issued
Correct.
order. So why don't we close this partial order out, and you present if we could do an RDA for the work, for the separate piece, is my opinion.
I
So it's
agree.
under a separate permit versus continuing to try to massage the original orders.
Which means you would have them refile for
Yeah.
the other work that's already
Yeah.
been done. Okay.
And the proposed work for remedying the original orders,
Okay.
lack of compliance.
What, and not saying anything negative about any, what holds them to file that?
We could not release the certificate, so they wouldn't be able to
Okay, so
record
we
it.
wouldn't be, okay,
I mean, we could,
we would not be signing it yet. We would be holding
Well,
the certificate of
Steve
compliance
could, yeah, once the,
until they refile.
I would say it's a substantial amount of work, but I think that they could get away with the RDA since there's not a
Oh.
lot of moving around, and then they could present what they want to do, and it would be a fresh filing. So there would be
Yeah.
nothing like, oh, you were supposed to do this, and then you didn't do this. Well, there's a nice, like, look at, that's nice. So this work was not permitted under the original order, so can we close out the original order as partial compliance, because that is an option.
Okay.
And, I mean, the applicant's gonna have to tell us if that's acceptable or not, but I think we're just gonna keep having this issue, and it's gonna continue.
Yep.
And we're not gonna be quite there. Because I don't want to be telling, Byron, I don't want to be telling you guys, or the board, telling you, oh, we want this tree over here, we want this over here, type of thing. Because everything's already there
I think we
and stabilized.
4 trees, but we didn't say where.
Right. Name and address?
Brian Devlin, 29 Laurel Glades. So when we initially came up with this plan, there was really no final design phase for this. We took the building down that was right where you can see was right there. We had to stabilize that ground. There was a patio there. It was a stone patio. It wasn't that intricate, obviously, but with the water levels and stuff, we felt that putting something more solid there would, the ground would wash away.
That's where the issue is, because you could have come in for a minor plan modification if you found out the conditions on the site were not good for what you had planned originally. So I'm just trying to hopefully expedite
Yeah.
where you get to do what you want with the permission of the board versus trying to fit it back into the original order. The activities under that originally issued order. So I can understand it, but it wasn't part of the plan, the record plan. The plan kind of rules. So what was shown on the plan is not what's shown in the field, and that's what we're trying to do with certificate of compliance. You're asking for one, saying that you comply with substantially with everything that was shown on the plan, which the board is not feeling that it's substantially complying.
No, more work was done than what was applied for.
It was expanded on.
It was expanded
And
upon.
maybe it was a good,
Everybody did that.
maybe it was a good excuse, but people come back and forth if you have something that's not, especially with the water, if you have something that's not shown on the plan and then you go forward with that work, we can't exactly sign off on it. But partial compliance would be the items that you did follow, whatever the other items are, would be signed off on. And then you would apply for a permit to do the rest of the items, even though it's retrospectively after the fact filing. So there's a paper trail, and the board can discuss it, see what your engineer wants to do, show it, it's on a piece of paper. We say, okay, you're allowed to do this, type of thing. Steve, what do you think about that? Does that make more sense than trying to modify things after the fact while we're at the certificate request?
Well, it depends if you mind, if the consensus is they don't mind that the patio is there, it's just that it wasn't on the original plan.
The work was outside the scope of the originally issued order of conditions.
We'd like to see a separate filing.
Well, that's you.
I mean, it's,
All right.
as long
I think
yeah,
you
as long
said
as you have
that.
an issue with the patio,
I think it's cleaner, instead of like trying to piecemeal
We
it.
did discuss the unilock patio last time these guys were here,
Yeah,
but I think we were considering doing a site walk to discuss.
yeah. So that's what Byron said, that he wanted to
Okay.
get our opinion of the locations of the trees.
Right.
So when we get the new filing, we can schedule a
I
sidewalk.
think that's what we should do.
Well, so that's where I'm going with this,
Right.
because I
So
feel
let's
like
close out-
even if we went to the site and did a site walk, I don't know if the board, if you're going to get enough votes to get your full certificate of compliance.
Right.
Even if we say, oh, put a tree here, you know. Sir, name and address?
Yeah, I'm Ken Gowan.
Yeah.
Same address.
Yeah,
I'm the guy in the permit.
okay.
Can someone please define to us what we did wrong? This is no different than it was before we started, except it's got a tile block it. Used to be a cement slab there. There was a building on there that we took down because they wanted it down. That's the only reason why we took it down.
Right, so on your,
We didn't touch the wall and we haven't done anything.
yeah, on your engineered plan, it doesn't show that there would be a patio. So the shed was on cylinders, right, pilings, cinder blocks?
No, it said
There was
that
a
they were
slab?
going to remove the slab and not put anything else
Okay,
there.
okay, and then restore to grass.
Correct, or
There was
whatever.
no grass there to begin with.
Correct, but your plan said there would be.
I don't recall exactly in that area, but we had a picture, the before.
It
picture.
doesn't make a difference what was there before. What makes a difference is what the plan said there was going to be.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the minor modification. If you ran into trouble with the stabilization of that area, then you could have told us, and then we could have had a plan on file saying that it was, we considered it minor, the change. So you expanded the scope of the proposed work that's shown on the plan that goes with the order of conditions. It's recorded at the registry. So the date, so there was a discrepancy on what was shown on the plan versus what the activity, what was done out there. And the board is feeling that it is not in substantial compliance with the proposed plan and order. Okay, I don't
Yep.
see,
Understood that the building was there, because we saw that picture when we looked at the plan. Yep, and the plan said that that was coming out, which you did. The plan did not say that a patio was going to go in its place.
But something there would have been crappy.
well, it's the impervious versus pervious
Correct.
square
And then
feet
you would have had
increase.
to put that in the plan.
So what exactly do we have to do?
So if we
Filing.
want to, if we want,
3 years we've been doing this.
well,
3 years in May.
Okay?
Just tell us what we got to do. So we can get
File another plan that shows the patio.
There's going to be another 3 years?
no, so
I
that
don't
would
know.
be, so my opinion, and I don't know if the board would be in agreement, what I already said, my long-winded explanation, is we grant a partial compliance, certificate of compliance for the property. We close out the old DEP number. And I believe it's reasonable if they file an RDA, which is actually an enforceable permit, for whatever activity you want to do there. So you're going to do an,
DEP again?
no.
Okay.
So that's a request for determination of applicability. So your DEP number would close out, but we're not going to give you that piece of paper that you record at the registry until you file for another permit. And then your engineer would just do a nice little plan of the existing patio, same as you have right now, and then your proposed tree locations, and we have the permit based on just the activities that were outside of the original order. So the patio, the different tree locations, maybe more trees, I don't know. We don't want to design it, we're not getting into designing it.
My question was, for the tree part of it, I did have some correspondence with Steve on that, relocating the trees from the original plan to just suit the property a little better. And he did tell me at that time it was fine, so that's why I went along with that.
So maybe you just have the trees shown where they are today.
They are.
You apply for your permit with the patio that you weren't really given permission, it's after the fact filing.
Okay.
So anything that was outside the scope of your original plan, you file for the permit for now. So we can give you a partial, so you close it out, and it's over. So the work done was, not 100% of what was there. Right, Steve, we could do that?
Yeah, I think that's a smart, you can.
So we can
do the partial, file the RDA.
It's usually
and put everything in there that's missing.
Oh, no, the
Instead of an
RDA.
And
extension.
Byron, you understand what we're talking about, right?
Conditions, if you do.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can get together the RDA application,
Right.
Scope is.
show the proposed location of trees, add it to the plan, and.
The patio as well.
Does everybody
And the
understand?
patio as well.
Anything outside of what we originally permitted will need to be permitted at this point
At the
before we
new one.
release the paperwork for the certificate of compliance.
Yep.
Is that it? Maybe it's just those two things?
Well,
so
whatever
Do you
is,
have any other plans for the property?
yeah, so if you want to throw in some
You better
more,
put them on this.
yeah, if you want
We will be back.
dock or deck or,
We're looking for the same thing. The reason why we live up there is because we love the water and we want to keep it as clean and as nice as two people.
right.
Seems like we're,
It's the paper trail. No, it's the paper trail.
it's crazy.
It's, well,
Just build what you're permitted to build, and it's not crazy.
all right, so I think that clears up the title issue, and then we'll release it once we get the RDA filed. And that's less of a process, and it should be an after the fact. You can see it in the field. We'll still plan on doing a site walk
Yes.
and keeping in mind that there'll be an RDA coming. So I'll entertain a motion to issue a partial certificate of compliance.
Well, I'd close the hearing first.
There's no hearing. It's a public meeting. It's not even a meeting, it's just a,
Oh, you're right, sorry.
it's just a discussion
This is
item.
just a request for,
Yeah, it's a discussion item, it's not even a meeting.
yeah, I'm so moved.
Okay. Made by Art,
Second.
said by Mike. All those in favor?
KG Dudley,
What are
aye.
we voting on? I'm sorry.
Sorry, the partial.
Issuing a partial,
A partial what? What are we
Certificate of
approving as a partial?
compliance.
What items are we approving? What are we not approving? Is that what a partial is?
a partial, so they're not in substantial compliance with the original order. So the work done does not meet the original conditions of the order.
Correct.
So what we're doing is cleaning up what was done that was falling under the original order is going to be in compliance. It's going to be voted on and approved. And then they're going to file an additional permit for the out-of-scope work. So they can get the DEP number, they can get their certificate recorded, and it's got to end somewhere. So they're not in compliance, so the threshold is substantial compliance,
Which they don't have.
which they don't have, so we're requiring them to file an additional permit
But we're
and
granting
close
partial.
out the old order of conditions on the property,
I don't understand how that doesn't finish them.
because we're not
And make it
giving it to
compliant.
them until we get their permit filed. So they're going to be in after-the-fact permitting for the additional work that doesn't meet the original order. If there's one over there to be signed, you can read the verbiage if you want.
Yeah, but like a partial, so to Mark's point, we haven't discussed what is in the partial. We know what's not in the partial,
Right.
but what parts of the plans are.
Everything else.
Okay.
So
So
the
everything
issues
but
are
What
trees
you're
and the
saying
and
on
The issue
is
is-
that is the project is in compliance except for trees and this additional patio. So
Patio.
that will be in the wording
Excluding,
of.
yes.
So don't we have to have that wording to vote on it?
Steve
I think
will-
that's important,
Not just say
that we've had this, yes.
it's compliant
we're not saying it's in
or
compliance.
partially
Correct.
compliant?
But I mean, I think,
It's the patio and the locations of the trees, and that's it.
yep,
We've already seen the as-built plan.
Correct.
correct.
I'm fine with that. I just want
Okay,
to know
Steve's
that
gonna
that's
draft
part
it up
of
and-
the.
Yeah,
If there is a to-be-signed certificate, you can read the verbiage.
right, but the to be signed might be for the full. We're just saying that,
Well, there's option. It's still on there.
okay, but we would still have to add the verbiage to specify what it is.
Yeah, Steve, you got what we want to write there, right?
Yeah, I mean, but Byron, you plan on filing the RDA right away?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
here we go.
we'll probably file within the next 2 weeks.
Mark, grab 76 Cedar Street.
You can wait. You can
Page
wait on-
2.
Hold off on signing the certificate until after he files the RDA, and that way if everything's approve the RDA, then approve the certificate.
Let me see it here.
I think showing good faith and moving forward, I've already got halfway vote. I'm in the middle of calling a vote right now.
That's fine.
I don't see any harm in closing this out and moving forward.
I'm good.
Either way is fine.
But I still think we
Do you
should
have-
get a site walk done for the tree issue before they actually get the certificate of compliance.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to even get a copy until,
You said a couple weeks.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's not going to be the 24th, it'll be the next,
probably.
It'll be February.
yeah.
Okay. I already voted.
Okay. Mike was aye.
Excuse me.
Mark?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Motion carries. All right, so we need to file an additional permit for the extra work, and then we'll close out the other order has been closed out as partially compliant. Okay? You're welcome. Have a good night. Thanks. Okay, 7:00 PM. Public hearing, continued abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, 105 and 126 Gilboa Street. Is anyone here presenting for this application?
Yes, Todd Maury from Beals Associates.
Hi. Your address? Address, please?
2 Park Plaza, Suite 200, Boston, Massachusetts.
Thank you. Do you want to give us an update on where we're at?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, the most recent thing I got, which was just this afternoon, Mass DEP did issue a file number. It's 143-1037.
Okay.
And about 5 minutes ago, I sent that to Mr. Zist.
Okay, great.
Got to get email on that. Also, just before Christmas, Art Allen did go out and review the delineation. He wrote a 2-page letter that I believe was sent to the commission. We have a copy of it. We agree with his findings completely. There's a couple of things that he does mention. One being some areas on the property that's actually in Uxbridge. He discusses an unflagged area, smaller wetland pocket that we'd originally flagged that up. I do have the survey location on that if you'd like to see it. It is in Uxbridge. And it's about 1,500 square feet in size. It doesn't qualify as isolated land subject to flooding. It's less than a quarter acre foot of capacity. So we haven't delineated that. I do understand that there is, in your local bylaw, that would be regulated if it was in Douglas. It's in Uxbridge.
Okay.
It's not on the plan. But I can
Okay.
tell you where that is if you'd like. He also talks about, there were 4 flags apparently that need to be rehung. We're fine with that. We can go ahead and rehang those, and we'll be happy to do that before we file the notice of intent. We're getting pretty close to being ready to file that. So we'd like to try to wrap up this process before we get into that one. He also mentions that there's an unflagged BBW along the Mumford River east of flag RB14, which is absolutely correct. Again, that's in Uxbridge. It's probably about 400 to 500 feet away from our scope of work. And we just did not flag that because it was just so far out of the scope of work. So with all those things being said, the specific request in this ANRAD is that you only confirm the flags that are noted on the plan. We do understand there are some areas in Uxbridge that are unflagged. Again, those are well outside our scope of work. I think what we should probably do, just to make everybody more comfortable, and after reading the comments that Mr. Allen wrote, the comments that Mass DEP wrote, is concurrently when we file the notice of intent with you folks for an actual project, we'll file an RDA with Uxbridge as well, to show them the resources we found in Uxbridge, show them that we're over 100 feet away from them. We don't think there's any issue there. But I think with a project like this, we just want to make sure that all the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed.
So, yeah, because it's not under the DEP number lookup, so you must be fresh off the press.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you want
doing this afternoon. I got the,
There's some technical comments that talk about Uxbridge, which is there's also one about the land and the water body, so if you, I don't know if you want to talk about it, just read the comments from the DEP.
I did. So they say, although the location of the bordering land subject to flooding was discussed in the ANRAD narrative, the applicant did not request verification of the location of this resource area. I don't recall putting any bordering land subject to flooding in the application.
Yeah, Art's also noting that under 2, so you must have checked it. That's why DEP's flagging it.
Under which item did
Art's 2 on the page 1, he's also saying land underwater. So you must have checked it somewhere, because DEP picked it up and sorted in Art. It might have just been a misclick.
Well, either it's present.
Land underwater, we absolutely did check, because that would be Gilboa Pond itself. Mass DEP talks about bordering land subject to flooding.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's what I'm confused about. I didn't-
yeah, Art has that one in there too.
Oh, yes, right.
So I don't have a copy of the filing, but I'm assuming it was clicked.
The BLSF is the flood zone, isn't it?
That could be. That's,
Are you asking for that to be part of the ANRAD, or is this flood study that was done, or?
well, there is a published flood study for the Mumford River, which talks about the various elevations. There's cross sections all the way down through there.
Yeah.
Which establishes elevation points along there. So that's, the location of that's really dictated by the elevations.
Well, I guess the DEP's comment is the applicant did not request verification of the location of the resource area under this ANRAD. So the
It's excluded.
is a multiple number of resource areas that you can ask for in an ANRAD.
No, I get that. I just, usually when we file one of these and there's a FEMA flood study that's done, and it's either an AE zone or there's elevations established, there's no question about it, because it's based on a hard elevation, not a delineated boundary. It's an actual elevation.
Right, so the point is that I guess you're not asking for that to be certified under this ANRAD. Is that?
No, that's correct. Yeah, I mean, it's already there. It exists. So, no, we're not, I guess we're not asking for it to be certified. FEMA's already done that, and we've done the work on that, so.
Okay. Did we clarify that? Anything else from DEP?
Just take a look at the application.
In our narrative, we do mention in section 4.4, but, you're correct. There's no line that we've drawn on the drawings.
Right.
That's certainly part of the design element, because there's certain things that we need to take care of in those areas, but.
But when we do the ORAD, people can come in for an ANRAD and just ask for DBW and that's it. Because that's all they want. So right now, I think the resource areas that you're asking for, did you do the bank?
We did bank, we did BBW, land underwater,
Those three?
those three.
What do you want?
There's a C series of wetlands that's within Uxbridge,
That's correct.
and when we did our site walk, it looked like there was a possible vernal pool adjacent to that C series of wetlands. Was that flagged?
That was flagged. Let me share my screen real quick. Whoops.
The copy of the plans should be next to your right too, Mark.
We've got them.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, and it doesn't show it on it.
What was the date on that?
That little area.
November
is not on
19th.
the plans because, so we went back, we did not identify any animals in there. It's
Yeah,
about
right.
1,500, I think it measured out at 1,590 square feet. But we did originally flag it in the field to be conservative, survey located it. I can show you exactly where that is. That is in Uxbridge as well.
So if Cable can let,
Okay, yep.
Perfect. Let's see, hopefully you can all see this now. Everybody see that? It's a basic black and white drawing, nothing fancy. So on this screen, you can see that C-series of wetland that you mentioned that's out there. It's actually fairly sizable, we call that pond. These D flags that are down here, that's the area that you're talking about, that you
It is.
saw out there as a potential vernal pool.
Yes.
When we were out there, we did not notice any species, but it was getting later in the year. So, you know, the egg masses, wood frogs, things like that would not have been in there at that time. So, but we don't think that that's going to be found to be a vernal pool. That'll have to be looked at again come
Yes.
March, April.
Okay.
And that'll be part of the process when we go to see Uxbridge with the RDA.
Yeah, and anything not flagged would be excluded from our approval. So if there's any resource areas that are additional, we're not approving those locations, but when they file their NOI, if something is
Found.
that's all
found.
that's all in Uxbridge too.
Right,
Right, except if there's a buffer, it may extend
But
as
the
far
buffer,
as
the
Douglas.
buffer is going to be in Douglas.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Buffer to what?
Buffer to, if that is found in an actual wetland or a vernal pool,
Yeah,
the buffer to that would be in Douglas.
yeah, I don't know if is there a buffer to a vernal pool?
Yeah, to the species specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's found to be a vernal pool, then we need to start working with natural heritage, find out what, first of all, we have to figure out what's in there. And depending on what's found to be in there, that could be a large buffer. So we've done projects where we've been 450 feet of no touch. I don't think that's more.
I'm just saying technically, I don't think there's no BBW buffer. There's no 100-foot
Oh,
buffer
no, you're right. There's no BBW buffer associated with it.
with the vernal
It's too
pool.
small.
Yeah, the only protection is the pool itself if it's certified. And that would be Uxbridge.
Yeah, and then the habitat area that's around it. And again, it depends on what species are in there.
Okay, board.
Uxbridge.
For the town?
Yeah, no, who did that? Have you filed the override in Uxbridge?
No, we're actually going to file an RDA and
Sorry, ready?
and the NOI
Close
in
this
Douglas.
hearing.
The NOI in Douglas and then the RDA in Uxbridge, we're going to file those concurrently.
Why? I mean, this is pretty good. All right, so,
I'm assuming that the hearing for the notice of intent in Douglas will not be a one meeting affair.
no,
There'll be a few meetings, I know.
yeah. Okay, so you're planning to do all the omissions and missing flag activity that are A through E?
Yeah. So we have
And submit a new plan?
that are down, we'll get those rehung prior to filing that notice of intent. We do have those in our survey database, since we picked them up the first time around. I'm more than happy to extend the riverfront flag, the bank flags from to the east, further to the east to get to the town line. It's probably 2 more flags. That's not a problem. We can do that for the notice of intent. But for the purposes of this ORAD, I think if we ended it at RB14, I'd be happy with that too.
Okay, and you're gonna give us a new plan showing the riverfront area? Under C?
Under C, Well, the plans that we submitted actually do show that, the 200-foot riverfront area.
In its entirety?
Looking at that this morning, I did notice there is one typo. So if you go to C.05, it's shown as labeled 200-foot riverfront buffer. It should have been here.
Oh, okay. I don't have the plan in front of me.
But it's that entire light blue area.
Oh, I
It
think,
only shows it on one side of the river.
It only shows it on the downstream section. It doesn't show it on the upstream portion, but that might be outside the realm of this plan. It looks like it's on the Bosma property.
yeah, and I think that he's saying riverfront area should be depicted. So maybe that was the issue with buffer versus
Yeah,
area.
Those were flagged by others. I think those were done in support of a utility infrastructure project that's being done along Gilboa and other parts of the town. We didn't flag those. We're not asking you to confirm those. So that's why.
Okay.
That's why we're not showing it.
Is that why the buffer is only shown on one side of the river and not the other?
That's correct. That other side was not our work. I'm not sure who actually flagged that.
Okay.
Our surveyor did pick that up, the numbers around that.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on this filing? Name and address. Okay, hearing none. Board?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question on number 3. What does it mean for the pond to be an exempt feature? Like, we're saying it's a pond, but it's an exempt pond.
So there are areas of standing water in the gravel pit.
Yep.
And what happens is the runoff goes down into there and it gets controlled, settled out. But when you're in a gravel pit and it's in a man-made facility like that, they're not actually protected by the Wetlands Protection Act.
Thus, it's exempt.
Definitions, yeah, it's under definition.
Okay.
Because they are part of an active gravel pit. If that gravel pit goes dormant for, I think the cutoff is it's either 5 or 7 years.
Yeah, 7.
5 years. So if the gravel pit becomes inactive for 5 years, then those could be considered a resource,
Interesting.
and those could be regulated.
Okay, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Eric. All those in favor?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Bobbini, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Mungem,
Okay. Entertain a motion to issue the ORAD. Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Eric. All those in favor?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Bobbini, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Mungem,
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck. We look forward to the NOI. Okay, see you soon. Okay, you too. New business, 7 PM, notice of intent, DP number 1431036, public hearing, 94 Island Road septic repair. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516, pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on January 3rd at 7 PM for a notice of intent filed by Daniel Russell located at 94 Island Road for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act. Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The work involves replacement of an existing septic system. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass., or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. 12/22/21. Okay, who is here presenting for this project? Name and address.
My name is Robert Fox, and I'm with Gary Arnell, an engineer. 33 West Street, Milford, Mass.
Thank you.
Representing the applicants.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen for the plan?
The plan is,
Steve's got it.
so Dan and Judy Russell, they have an existing house with a septic system driveway sitting on the Peninsula White Reservoir. They need to replace their septic system. They've got approval from the Board of Health to replace it in the exact same location as the existing one. So they're going to just remove the leaching chambers that were originally installed, remove any contaminated gravel in that area, replace everything, put everything back together. And that's pretty much it. There's no new disturbance going to be proposed. And we've got erosion control to limit the edge of the driveway, because the trucks will be coming down there to remove material and bring material in, so.
Okay, do we have the green card submitted to Steve?
Yeah, they came in today.
Okay, great.
This is the sidewalk of the picture with that video. It's pretty much everything inside this stone wall.
Okay.
Leaching field, so.
Okay.
Steve, do we have a DEP number on this one?
Yeah,
We do.
1036.
Came in after the public hearing, after the agenda came out.
It's okay, Steve. We got it.
It should be
1036.
Thank you.
36?
Yeah. We're not touching the wall at all?
No, the wall is, everything's going to be contained within the wall.
Okay. And did you receive Board of Health approval?
I haven't been involved with the Board of Health aspect on this, but I'm pretty sure, I believe they have achieved Board of Health approval.
Okay. I see one of the owners is on the line, so.
Yes, hi, this is Judy Russell. We do have Board of Health approval. They already came out and did a soil test.
Was the plan approved by the Board of Health with the stamp on it, approved?
There was no, to my knowledge, there was no new plan required. They were just going by the old plan. It's not that, the system isn't that old. I think it was originally constructed in 2006. So they're allowing them to use the old plan.
Okay. All right. Board, questions? Anyone in the audience speaking on this? No? Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Art, second by Mike. All those in favor?
KG Deadly, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Mungem,
Okay. Entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions for the septic repair.
So
Hey,
moved.
thank you.
1 second, we just gotta call the final vote. Art's motion,
Second.
second by Eric. All those in favor?
KG Deadly, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montmany, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Mark Mungem,
Okay, now you're all set, Judy.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving right along. Number 8, 7 PM, notice of intent, public hearing, 74 Main Street, Family Convenience Center, proposed fuel station and convenience store. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516. Pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on January 3rd, 2022 at 7 PM for a notice of intent filed by Douglas Convenience Center, Inc., located at 74 Main Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves construction of a new convenience store with automobile filling station and a fast fast food restaurant with a drive-through food service window. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass., or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16th, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website. That's the website's wrong too. At least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the notice of intent may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission, 508-476-4000, extension 205, December 27th, 2021. That's enough days, right? Yeah. Okay, that is enough days, right, Steve?
What's that?
That's enough days for publication? 12/27?
Business,
I think that that's just the cutoff, was 12/27.
It was published.
Yeah, so I think.
It appeared on the Monday, last Monday, which is not the 5 business days before the meeting.
right,
So we keep having this issue.
because of the holiday.
Yeah, and there was a holiday. The 31st was considered a observed holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, my recommendation's always to do it as soon as possible, you can do months ahead, just can't be, it has to be within, can't be within 5 business days.
If anybody wants to give me a idea on this, let me just see my directions on, because somebody else. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Well, I think we can do an informal discussion
Okay.
overview, not particulars because we didn't advertise in time.
Okay.
It's just refile.
No, you don't need to refile, just re-advertise.
Okay. So we're gonna okay, I got you.
It'll just have to be advertised one time before the meeting, 5 days, business days
Do it
before.
right away, and then you're all set.
Yeah.
Yeah, like do it tomorrow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 'Cause I know with the Worcester Telegramming is that December 27th was the, so they could get it and we thought, okay, it'll be the 5 days
Did we
prior.
put the ad in, or did the town put it in?
We put it
We put it
in
in.
once we ended up getting Doug, Steve's.
You don't have a DEP number yet either.
We do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it came in
Oh,
early there.
okay. We don't see those comments. Did you get some comments back from DEP?
We did. We ended up getting a few minor ones,
Okay, all right.
which I'll happily, if we're okay, we can do an informal conversation.
But what does that do if we have to repeat it all?
You're going to have to repeat it all when the actual meeting is.
Yeah, so I would take into consideration Steve's review and the DEP's comments.
Okay.
And I think most of this board's pretty familiar with the site. And we've seen it before, there was an ORAD, right? Or there was a
Yeah.
full site plan approval and,
2014.
Yeah.
Full site plan approval.
yeah, so Mike and I were both on the planning board.
Okay.
So, and then the resources, wasn't there an order done?
We
An
looked at
NOI?
something that was on the same side of the street. This is the first time I've seen the one that's on the opposite side of the street. Oh, no, we saw one just for the
We were going to
food.
expand the store sideways. We
Yeah.
abandoned that because it just didn't work.
Okay,
So this is Plan B.
Yep.
To move it across the street. The order that was approved for the previous owners has, I believe, expired.
okay,
And we're not them. And this is different.
okay.
This is completely.
Yeah. But
That's
as far
helpful
as
to
the
me.
resource areas go, they're going to be the same
The same
location.
delineation, sure,
Yes.
sure.
Yes, yeah.
I,
So I don't think there's an issue with that. Steve, is this going to need a review by Art, or do we have the previous review?
Well, I think Art flagged it.
Oh.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Wetlands and on either side. I mean, the one, I took the videos, I can show you the two videos. The ones across the street are pretty well defined and down
Yeah.
over, and the ones up by the transfer, and the landfill is really, there's a little ravine between the landfill, if you saw my video, between the landfill and this flat area, there's a hill up there. It's pretty distinct on either side. The question is that I'm not sure, because it's the stormwater management, when they have to file for stormwater review, if we usually tag team with the planning board. I haven't heard anything from the planning board if they're hiring an engineer to review the stormwater management.
Peer review right now.
Yeah, McCartney Engineering is doing it. I haven't heard anything from the planning board yet as to
Okay.
the status of the peer review, but it is under peer.
And make sure that stormwater, full stormwater for us is on there too. And then CC Steve on everything
Yep.
for the stormwater.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the comments, because I believe we submitted the stormwater report to the Conservation Commission in the filing, DEP had a comment regarding, because there is a little bit of riverfront area on this site. One of the entrances to the site is within that riverfront area. It just barely clips it.
Yep.
So basically, DEP was concerned about the alternatives analysis, which we ended up putting one together for our site, but they want something a little bit more in-depth,
Okay.
kind of to go beyond.
That DEP number must have just come in. They're saying that the applicant should provide sufficient information to demonstrate that any adjacent parcel on a common ownership or available for purchase are unavailable, and not any other land which can reasonably be obtained within the municipality which is listed for sale, and of appropriate size and zoning designation is not available for consideration. Additionally, Mass DEP recommends that the applicant provide the commission with the reference traffic study data which precludes the sitting of the paved access drive at an on-site location not within the riverfront area. It should also provide a signed and stamped stormwater checklist.
Yeah, so
This must have just came in today.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I think it came in on Thursday of last week. But just regarding the comment about the traffic impact analysis, just to kind of prove that the entrances have to be within the 200-foot riverfront area, DEP recommended that we include that in submission to the Conservation Commission. So is that something that you'd like to see?
Yes.
Okay, so we can include that.
Yeah, should be easy enough. Just so that we have the paperwork in line and everybody is on the same page, so we don't like losing time or
No, absolutely. So.
losing people in the information
Say you're going across the street. The firehouse is across the street, right?
diagonally.
The side.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
That's the other place.
Yeah, this is, here's Rydell Road, this is the fire station, this is the parcel in question.
So it's bordering on Rydell and,
Correct.
It's in front of the dump.
yeah, it's right in front of the transfer station.
Yeah.
Okay, I
That's
know
what I
where-
was,
That's actually,
it'll be a great place for that. This is that 200-foot riverfront.
Yeah.
Why does
From
nobody
Centerville
develop
Road,
there?
and then this resource area on either side.
Because he owned it. And she did like the whole stuff until she died. Very, very tough. All right, so I think that's the only thing that we can do tonight, but if you can revise the plans and have all the paperwork, make sure Steve's included in all the emails with the peer review. And since we've already kind of, we're very familiar with the site. What?
Yeah, so who are they using for the?
McCarthy?
Who are they using for the engineer?
McCarthy? Did you say McCarthy?
Is it McCarthy or McCartney?
I think it's
McCarthy.
McCarthy. I think it's McCarthy. What the heck is, oh,
The president.
Where are they at?
It was your recommendation. They're not our people.
it was planning board.
The planning board, that's who they were.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
I don't know where they are.
I think they're pretty responsive,
Yeah.
because I remember that they were on a different project, so.
They've done at least one peer review for
Yeah,
Douglas,
yeah.
according to
Was that approved by the planning board yet, to send that out?
Yeah, it's already out for peer review.
Can you not hear? All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. And what is your name and address for the record?
Rob Lucier with CMG.
Okay.
Environmental.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think to be safe, we should just,
Yeah, no,
Wait.
I got that. It was my
And-
understanding that the 27th met the
you lost, even if it did, which I don't prefer it, because I think it should be 5 full days before, but you lost the holiday.
okay,
Business days, it says in the Wetlands Protection Act.
okay.
So, I don't, unless you can prove it to me. I don't see how you could, though.
No, I can see.
It has to be 5 days, 5 business days before the meeting.
Okay,
Like, this day does not count,
all right.
so, my apologies. Which, Steve, we really should be checking to make sure that the notices, the hearings are met before they're on the agenda, just, I
Before
would
they
have.
drive out here.
Yeah,
You said that 2 meetings ago.
I know.
Steve emailed me to tell me that he just said recommended making sure that, we have the public hearing in, so he did email me. I called the office to make sure, because my understanding was the 27th that's the last day we can do it, because that's when Telegram and Gazette
Would do
goes
it.
in.
Yeah.
And it's, based on my conversation with somebody in the office, they said that it should be
I
fine.
thought they actually, they said that it was okay. I don't know.
That was my understanding, so.
Yeah, the holiday.
We're sorry to waste everyone's time.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We're looking forward to the filing, so if you can just tidy it up
Yep.
and, get the revised plan back to DEP.
Yeah, that works. I
And-
think, is the next meeting for conservation, your meeting,
The 24th.
okay. Yeah, okay, so that works. I think what we're hoping to do was, once we end up getting back the peer review for planning board, and planning board comments, we would like to just do one full review, or revised submittal with a comment response letter for every single person involved, whether it's Conservation Commission, Planning Board, DEP, peer review, town staff. That way, everyone's in the loop.
Yes, we would like to, yes.
So-
Love that idea.
Okay, so as far as getting a revised plan in before the 24th, that's probably not going to happen. We would like to present, get through that first hurdle, and then just revise everything once we get everything.
Yeah, it's February 7th is the meeting after that.
Okay,
So you should be in good shape.
okay, well, that works.
Yeah, so for the commission.
Where they're
make
permitting.
Sure that we ran into this before, that McCarthy is reviewing it under the Wetlands Protection Act portion of the stormwater management. Also, there's a couple other criteria in there that get triggered by the Wetlands Protection Act. And then just follow up with the DEP's detailed letter on the 310 PMR 1058-4C2, which they referenced in their comments
Yep. Yeah,
on the
got that.
analysis.
okay, well, that works.
Okay,
So,
thank you
all right.
very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Have a good night.
You as well. Thank
Bye, Ray.
you, and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. That darn New Year day.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, starting off on a good note, huh?
It's okay, it happens.
So what was this continued to, the 20?
January 24th,
Where'd the 7th come?
February 7th.
Pardon?
February 7th?
Yeah, I thought you decided on February 27th.
No, so the next, we're not going to have plans. He's going to do a presentation, get our feedback, and then revise the full plan set for both planning and conservation. So,
That was, the last one was January 24th.
yes.
Okay.
Does this one have an EAP number? The Whitens River watershed reservoir? Okay. Moving on, number 9, 7 PM, public hearing, notice of intent, Whiten Reservoir Dam Operation and Maintenance Manual, Whiten Reservoir Watershed District. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516, legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on January 3rd, 2022, at 7 p.m. for a notice of intent filed by Whiten Reservoir Watershed District located at Whiten Reservoir for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves continuation of the operation and maintenance manual for the Whiten Reservoir Dam, which includes maintenance of dam features and an ongoing 6-foot annual winter drawdown. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the notice of intent may be examined electronically by contacting Conservation Commission. 508-476-4000, extension 205, December 23rd, 2021. Okay, who is here presenting?
Good evening. My name is Matt Delisle. I'm with Park Corporation, and I'm here with my colleague Lauren Gluck, and also Paul Coet from the district. Park Corporation is located at 10 Lincoln Road, Suite 210 in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Thank you very much. Steve, what do we have submitted for this? Just, this was a requirement, right, for conditions?
So they have an existing operation and manual for the operation of the dam, and it's expired, so I think they're renewing their permit.
Okay.
And I think they have all the green cards came in. Let's see here, they have,
If there is, I can't find it.
the green cards, butters list, and legal notice has all been submitted. I don't believe this has come through. They got a DEP number, but they can kind of give you an executive overview of
No, go up.
the filing.
You did not electronically file with DEP?
I believe we did file with EDEP. One of my colleagues submitted the form electronically, and we also sent them a copy of the PDF of everything that you received electronically. We haven't received a DEP file for it. I just checked.
What day, well, do you see your address listed? Because what day did they email?
It's not listed at all, which
Yeah.
is unusual.
Because they didn't actually intake it. So that's, I would follow up, because I don't know when the person emailed it, but it's unusual that it's not even on there. That means that they didn't actually put it into the computer yet.
Okay, yeah, because we did submit it, 3 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, it should be in the queue with no.
Yeah.
Okay, so Steve, do you have any information for us to review this manual? Are we just going to accept it as it is?
I gave everybody a copy of the two links. It's really a beefy document. It's something maybe the
89 pages long.
Review what the notice of intent entails, and so we can kind of disseminate what information the commission might like. It's probably a 2 or 3
Has 4 appendices.
book.
Okay, I remember this.
I prepared some slides. If I can share my screen.
Wonderful, yes.
We can walk through the components of the plan, but as Steve indicated, this really is a renewal of the existing plan that was first drafted and approved in 2011. So we're going on, it's had 3 renewals and implementation, and we're just going to update that. So
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that would be great, because it actually doesn't read like it's a continuation. It reads like it's a approval of a new manual. That's how I am interpreting the agenda item.
So one's
Were there any edits?
one's the notice of intent, one is the operation
Thank you.
manual.
Thank you. So if you could give us the slideshow and then tell us any changes that were made. Thank you.
So, the plan was prepared for the White Reservoir. We have the dam. You can see my screen, correct?
No,
I gotta look at this. This is my piece of
No.
paper.
no.
No, we can't.
There you go.
Share it now?
Yes.
Yes.
I did this.
Okay. It's not letting me do the full projection. So again, we're looking at the Whiten Reservoir Dam, which really has two pieces to it. The main dam here, and then we do have the saddle dike up here at the northern end of it. The dam is generally linear. It supports a roadway. There's a downstream wall that forms the downstream side of the dam itself. There is an upstream wall and armored slope, which extends down into the impoundment area. Discharges through the dam are accommodated through the spillway, pass through a culvert system under the roadway, then into the spillway, and then out into the downstream area. There's also a low-level outlet with a control structure out on the reservoir side of the dam that passes through the dam itself and discharges into the downstream area, ultimately joining with the spillway flows. There's also the saddle dike that I mentioned at the northern end, which is a less than linear earthen embankment that is vegetated at this time. The original plan was submitted in August of 2011, and it has been renewed under the original notice of intent, but as it's been renewed 3 times, we have now filed a new notice of intent because the number of renewals has exceeded that which is recommended. So what I want to do in the next little bit here is just go through the components of the plan itself. I'm also going to highlight what we updated. Very little was updated because the plan was quite comprehensive and the dam has not changed significantly. So what the work will continue to do is provide for wall and embankment maintenance. That's maintenance of the stone masonry, of the riprap, and then the earthen components over at the saddle dike. They'll also allow for continued maintenance at the spillway structure. That will be work on the gates, the operating systems, the training wall, the aprons, and the approach. Continued maintenance to the low-level outlet so that this can stay operable. This is a very critical piece to this dam, and it's used on a regular basis. So that maintenance includes regular exercising of the structure itself, as well as repair to the housing, the gatehouse, the access, and the railings around the structure itself. Those are the maintenance, the physical maintenance components to the work. There's also vegetation maintenance. Vegetation was cleared years ago around the toe of the wall, and in 2 seepage areas. It's being maintained so that it does not encroach upon the dam. And this is in good dam engineering practice, so that you don't have the roots putting pressure on the structure itself or creating seepage paths through the embankment or underneath the structures. The other portion of the operations and maintenance manual is the operations component to it. And this one includes a 6-foot annual drawdown of the reservoir. And this is to reduce load on the dam during the winter months, to provide for additional flood storage during snow melt and precipitation events that occur in the late winter and early spring. The drawdown commences in the beginning of October and is drawn down at a rate of no more than 2.4 inches per day. That comes to a 30-day drawdown period to give the species within the pond a chance to adapt to that drawdown and we don't shock the system there. The other half of the operations and maintenance plan is what to do during periods of low flow. This would be your July, your August period when we don't have any rainfall occurring. We need to make sure that there's a base flow in the river down gradient of the dam itself. So at that period of time, the low-level outlet is then utilized to maintain 4.5 CFS of flow into the downstream area. And within the manual, you'll see a number of tables, and those were prepared so that the operator can gauge how much flow is going downstream based upon how much the low-level outlet is open and what the elevation of the reservoir is at that time. The plan also includes those operating events that will occur in the event of a storm. You know, if we end up with a predicted hurricane coming up or a very large storm event, there are tables that also provide the operator with how much they need to open the gates to allow that storm to go through and not tax the dam and allow that water to come up too high on structure where we risk flooding out the perimeter homes and residences, or also overtopping the dam itself. We need to make sure that that roadway stays accessible. So there were a couple clarifications and updates. One of the clarifications that the district wanted us to include was clarifying that the stone masonry maintenance includes above and below water activities. It's pretty apparent that you're going to maintain the visible portions of both the downstream wall and the upstream walls, but the low-level outlet tower extends below the water, and that will also need to be maintained over time. And what that is just making sure that those joints stay tight, doing some repointing, and also some gate maintenance if necessary. We also wanted to talk a little bit about the vegetation maintenance between the culvert, spillway, and the right abutment. This area here is an area that can become choked with thick vegetation that will impact the ability for the spillway to work efficiently. So this area will need to be trimmed on a regular basis to maintain that free flow of water from the pond into the downstream area so that we can maintain full discharge capacity in accordance with the state dam safety regulations. The vegetation maintenance at the saddle dike will also be continuing, and this will be the brush and the understory. This does not include any of the large trees that you may see out there at this time. That would be something that would be handled through its own permitting operation, through the Conservation Commission, and also with the Office of Dam Safety. The plan was also updated to include the current officers on the board so that all of the contact information is correct. And then it also clarified that the causeway inspection and maintenance is not part of the district's requirements. That is a town-owned structure, and that will be the responsibility of the town itself. So that's a quick and dirty summary. There are a number of chapters here that also deal with inspections of the dam itself, so the owner knows what to look for as far as deterioration of some of the components within the dam. But those really don't fall under the permitted activities, but I can go through those if you need me to. Any questions, or would you like any clarification on any of the items I've already touched upon?
I was just so we have a copy of this, which I appreciate. Thank you. I wanted to point out the copy I have, at least, and the bound copy that Tracy has, don't have red lines. Did you edit sections that existed, or this was just the addition? Like you were just talking about the inspection section, which I just scrolled through. Was that an additional section, or did you edit an existing section?
That was an section that was included. We did not provide a redlined copy for you. We issued the final and updated plan for your approval.
Okay. Does that mean you're looking for a review of the full plan?
We would be looking to have the entire operation manual permitted as was done last time. This will enable the district to undertake their annual activities without having to come before the commission for each water level adjustment or time where they need to do some crack repairs. They'll be able to do that under an approved plan that was reviewed by you all.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it.
So where does it mention the above and below water for the masonry repairs? Which page
Section.
or section?
Give me a page number if they give me a section.
That would be in section 4. Trying to read this. Wow, it's got real small print on me here on this.
You're telling us. Okay, under maintenance instructions.
Yeah, it's under maintenance for the masonry.
Page 20. Yeah, you're in there.
So measures, section 4.3.4. That's on page 25.
And have we been, yeah, so I don't see above and below, unless I'm just blind. So I'm at the 4.3.4, and it's not mentioning anything to do with water location.
She's right. It does say to use an epoxy modified mortar applicable to underwater applications.
So there's continuing maintenance 4.2.3 underwater maintenance and repairs along the existing dam and gate structures.
There you go. Sorry, I referenced you to the
There
wrong
you
section.
go,
You are
yeah.
correct.
Okay. And have we been provided, meaning the town, provided with the inspection reports and pictures with dates on them? As mentioned in this book? I lost the page, maybe 13-ish. Required record keeping, 3.3.4. Dated report should be filed for each inspection conducted and filed with any photographs taken. Photographs should be
Yeah, that-
dated.
Those are to be filed with the Office of Dam Safety, and those have been done on a regular basis. The Office of Dam Safety program requires that the dam be inspected on a regular basis, and that those reports be filed with them, and they keep a record of that.
Okay, I understand. So nothing's been filed. So this has been expired. Is this, I'm trying to get a handle on this, because I was here for the first one.
This expired early winter here, and we had submitted our initial application to be heard in December, but we were asked to push off until this January hearing due to your schedule. So that's why this has expired. We had been speaking with Mr. Zisk in advance of the expiration, and we were indicated that following this schedule should not hamper the review, and that he appreciated us being willing to push it off into the new year to facilitate your schedule.
Okay, so how was the math? Did you have an extension for Permit Extension Act? Because the original order was issued in 2011, and it's for 3 years, and you received another 3-year extension, so that would put you at 18. You received more than one.
Yes, there were multiple 3-year extensions. Lauren, do you want to discuss that?
Yeah, we're filing for a new order of conditions because we've exceeded now 3 extensions, and it was recommended to us to go ahead and pursue a completely new order of conditions.
Okay.
Now we have this revised.
I thought it was a maximum of 2 times, total is 6 years, 2 3-year extensions, but this may have filed.
I have to go back and look. There may have been something under the permit. There's that period around the recession where they extended permits automatically. Maybe it was 2 renewals.
It was the original 3-year plus 2 renewals.
Okay.
And then we had the additional extension around due to the federal extent, or the state extension.
Permit Extension Act.
Okay.
I was gonna. Oh, no, I was just going to follow up on Tracy's comment that your section on record keeping, if you're going to file a dated report, you should specify in the paragraph who you're filing it with.
I was trying to look to see if there was any required correspondence for the town.
No, and I don't.
Needed.
I don't see that. I'm just, like I said, I mean, if I take the time to review this report, there's a couple different issues. I notice you have a lovely glossary defining some of your terms. There are other terms left undefined. And then also you mentioned that your spillway flows into the Mumford Reservoir. I believe there's a different, I believe you flow into other unnamed tributaries prior to flowing into the Mumford River.
Well, they don't have a number, so. we're not
Sorry,
doing
I
anything
only
tonight.
caught a portion of that statement. My
Well,
apologies.
if you would, if you want my comments to your plan separately, I could put them in an email so that you don't have to just hear them verbally. But my specific call-outs is that if you're going to have a record-keeping section, you should specify who those records are being filed with. And then another part of your report mentions that outflowing into the Mumford River, I believe there are some smaller tributaries that should be called out that it flows into prior to meeting the Mumford River. So that's a later convergence, at least with the Blackstone Valley Watershed Association. And then in your glossary section, there are some terms throughout your report that are not yet defined. So one of the things I had to look up was saddle dike, which I now understand what that term means, but I would have defined that in the report because you do have a very nice glossary section. It is a nice glossary section.
Katie Grace will put that in a,
Email.
in an email. And we don't have a DEP number or any record of the filing anyway, so. Steve, did you have any comments?
I mean, I just got to commend the Watershed Association, though. They do, one of the issues years ago was the low flow of the Mumford or the Whitens Reservoir. I guess it's called the Whitens Reservoir Brook that comes out of the dam. And they steadily, and they submitted some yesterday, I think, every month or every quarter they submit their a spreadsheet that gives their data of how much CFS is coming out of the dam to help feed the tributaries. So that part of the record keeping that they submit to the commission, they do that quarterly, and they've been doing it for the last 10 years. So they do upkeep that record as per the first O&M that was approved.
Okay. Miss, do you have something to say on this?
Yes.
Name and address, please.
Valerie Fulginetti, 301 Northwest Main Street. The spillway borders my land.
Okay.
And when they took ownership in 2011, I had some issues with the lines under the spillway. And there were complications with the surveying company and my lawyer and their lawyer. And so it continued with the unsuccessful resolution. And so I went to another lawyer, and that was unresolved. But that was probably in 2015. So 2012 is when I tried to address it at first. In 2015, I was told to give up after the new lawyer spoke to the old lawyer. And I have discussed with people in the road, people from the Whitens Reservoir, my concern about where the boundary was, the initial boundary. I've lived there for 44 years. So I was there for all the history, and they just discredited me. So my main concern is they put up new surveying stakes, which I believe are on my land. And my concern is they are going to maybe dig on my land, which they call their land. We both have the same surveyor, so that complicates things. And then I just got this notice, and when I saw the stakes, I can't tolerate just letting it go and watching what I believe my land is to be dug up. So that's why I'm here. I contacted the land court today and I'm in communication with them. I'm not quite sure what to do. You know, the only reason I'm here, I support total conservation, but I don't support, I noticed the part about the spillway wasn't real clear on how it orders my land, how they would, what they would be doing there. You know, they talked about growth, but does that mean big machines, or does that, you know, what does that mean? When it was done in 2010 by the last owners, we communicated, and rocks were put in there up to my land. So I have, you know, I guess I don't know exactly.
Matthew, do you have some clarification? Do you know where, it's 303, right, Northwest?
301.
301? The activities that would be taking place for the ongoing maintenance on 301 Northwest? Yeah, I think he knows where that is. I think I'm getting tired. No, I'm just asking, he's probably looking it up, and he's gonna call out in the slides.
I'm looking to see what I can share from a slide standpoint.
Okay.
This one is probably the best one that we have. So
Yep.
we have the spillway system here. Let me zoom in on it. We've got the spillway system, and the water flows under the culverts. There's some vegetation that is grown between the culverts and the spillway section itself. The spillway has this dock logs that span across the concrete crest. The stop logs will be maintained in an operable order, cleaned of any debris that may get hung up on them due to the normal flow activity. And under periods of low flow, there may be times where those stop logs have to be removed to facilitate a pond elevation. The area between the spillway and the roadway will be, you know, the vegetation will be cut. Most likely it'll be a hand operation. We don't envision them driving large backhoes in there, but there may be some smaller equipment that is utilized to keep that vegetation such that it does not impede the flow of water through that area. It'll be a fair amount of hand harvesting and work that way to keep that vegetation so that it doesn't obstruct our flows.
Could you zoom into that location? Because I have the book, but...
I can't in this slide. Let me see if
oh,
I can do it in the picture.
Okay, sorry about that. I have the book if you want to come take a look at what did you see where he was pointing to?
So he said small.
Hand,
equipment,
yeah.
Not big equipment. What does that mean?
It's a hand operation, he's saying.
Hand operation.
Yeah,
Okay.
with trimmers and stuff in that area.
Can I make a comment here?
Name it.
One moment, please, unless, are you presenting for the applicant?
Yes, Paul is with the district, and he's
Okay.
part of our presentation team.
Okay, yep, name and address, please.
Paul Coward, 34 Southern Drive, Cumberland, Rhode Island. I'm chair for the Water District.
Okay.
I think some of the question here is all the flagging that was done. When we talk about survey, if maybe Lauren, you could just explain a little bit. I think some of the concern is all the flags that went up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not not necessarily stakes or property boundary markers, there was flagging. Okay, so they're required to do that because of the conservation filing.
But they're not planning on digging up the.
They had to show us where the buffers were. So, and you can, Lauren, if you want to go ahead and explain a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So Matt, are you able to pan down on the plan towards that B series where the green is at the bottom of the sheet? So is your residence to the south here, in the area where the cursor is now? That's what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's a spillway right above where your arrow is.
Yeah, so I put in some pink flagging to delineate the boundaries of the spillway outlet here in blue, as well as a vegetated wetland that's defined by a flag series. It's a B1 through B5. So that, I believe, would have been on your property. There's no actual work in that area, in the wetland, between the wetland and the spillway, but I did have to place flagging there to define where the limits of the resource area were for this application, so we could define where the wetland impacts would be. So I believe, does that sound like what you saw was, flagging tied onto vegetation, pink flagging?
Yeah, that it was, yes, vegetation, that's what you're, it's beyond where the spillway water usually lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that green line there, that's a bordering vegetated wetland, so that's like a swampy area adjacent to the spillway. So it would be outside of where it normally floods or flows, but it's considered a wetland due to the vegetation and soils there. So I did have to flag that to define the limits of that protected area, but there's no work. And I do understand it's on your property, and I apologize for not notifying you before hanging the flagging on there.
Okay.
I don't think anybody was home at the time that I was over there, so I apologize.
Okay. Well,
And if she, if she wants to contact someone with any questions regarding the maintenance trimming, whom should she contact on this list? Who would be the best person? Anyone?
Yes, she can contact me.
Okay.
I have had extensive conversations with Val.
Okay, so you have his phone number, his contact info?
Pear, is that Pear?
Paul.
But Paul with Pear?
Oh, no, he's the chair of the Whitensville, Whiten.
No, I don't have his phone number.
Okay. Is it okay, Paul, if I share this that's in the?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can give her a phone number. We've had extensive conversations.
Okay. And how can I get a copy of the waiver?
Do you have an email address?
Yes.
Okay, Steve can email it to you.
Okay.
This is.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation, and Katie Grace she's already typing up her comments, so we'll just try to get a DEP number for the next meeting. We'll have to continue. Anyone else in the audience have any questions on this hearing? Nope, not seeing any. Board, any questions? Steve, all set?
Oh, no.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to January 24th, 2022 at 7 PM.
So moved.
Motion's made, seconded by Mark. All those in favor?
KG Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Moppity, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
Okay. All right, we'll see you on January 24th. Thank you very much. Have a good night. So we have a bunch of stuff to sign. Steve, anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Board, anything? We can do the meeting minutes after. It's getting closing
Just don't
time.
forget to sign.
We will not.
Move to adjourn.
Motion's made by Art to adjourn.
Oh, wait. Not all these millions of documents we're supposed to sign.
They're right there. We sign them when we walk into the office.
Why would I walk into the office?
No. All right, motion's made by Art. I'm not vetoing it. Do I hear a second?
Seconded.
Okay, second, Katie Grace, all those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye. Mike Greco, aye.
Art Moppity, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.